Welcome to this week's edition of Future at its Finest. On this segment, we'll be exploring the current future Mark Zuckerberg is building and what his plans are moving forward. While you're here, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more exciting videos. Mark Elliott Zuckerberg, born May 14, 1984, is an American internet entrepreneur and philanthropist. He is known for co-founding Facebook Incorporated and serves as its chairman, chief executive officer, and controlling shareholder. Originally launched to select college campuses, the site expanded rapidly and eventually beyond colleges, reaching 1 billion users by 2012. Zuckerberg knows he has a tough sell after what can only be described as a nightmarish couple of years for Facebook. The company has endured scandal after scandal throughout the past 24 months related to its data privacy and security practices and the social network's role in abetting or promoting election interference, misinformation, and fake news, as well as hate speech and violence all around the globe. As a result, the company's reputation is in tatters despite its steady growth. Mark Zuckerberg tweeted on Twitter, stating his plans for the next decade. He stated, "A new private social platform. The internet gave us the superpower of being able to connect with anyone, anywhere. This is incredibly empowering and means that our relationships and opportunities are no longer confined to just where we live. We're now part of a community with billions of people in it, with all the dynamism, culture, and economic opportunity that it brings. But being part of such a large community creates its own challenges and makes us crave intimacy. When I grew up in a small town, it was easy to have a niche and sense of purpose. But with billions of people, it's harder to find your unique role. For the next decade, some of the most important social infrastructure will help us reconstruct all kinds of smaller communities to give us that sense of intimacy again. This is one of the areas of innovation I'm most excited about. Our digital social environment will feel very different over the next 5+ years, re-emphasizing private interactions and helping us build the smaller communities we all need in our lives. The next computing platform. The technology platform of the 2010s was the mobile phone. The platform of the 2000s before that was about the web, and the 1990s was the desktop computer. Each computing platform becomes a more ubiquitously accessible and natural for us to interact with. While I expect phones to still be our primary devices through most of this decade, at some point in the 2020s, we will get breakthrough augmented reality glasses that will redefine our relationship with technology. Augmented and virtual reality are about delivering a sense of presence, the feeling that you're right there with another person or in another place. Instead of having devices that take us away from the people around us, the next platforms will help us be more present with each other and will help the technology get out of the way. Even though some of the early devices seem clunky, I think that these will be most human and social technology platforms anyone has built yet. The ability to be present anywhere will also help us address some of the biggest social issues of our day, like ballooning housing costs and inequality of opportunity by geography. Today, many people feel like they have to move to cities because that's where the jobs are. But there isn't enough housing in many cities, so housing costs are skyrocketing while quality of living is decreasing. Imagine if you could live anywhere you chose and access any job anywhere else. If we deliver on what we're building, this should be much closer to reality by 2030. New forms of governance. One of the big questions for the next decade is, how should we govern the large new digital communities that the internet has enabled? Platforms like Facebook have to make trade-offs on social values we all hold dear, like between free expression and safety, or between privacy and law enforcement, or between creating open systems and locking down data and access. It's rare that there's ever a clear right answer, and in many cases it's more important that the decisions are made in a way that feels legitimate to the community. From this perspective, I don't think private companies should be making so many important decisions that touch on a fundamental democratic values. One way to address this is through regulation. As long as our governments are seen as legitimate, rules established through a democratic process could add more legitimacy and trust than rules defined by companies alone. There are a number of areas where I believe governments establishing clear rules would be helpful, including around elections, harmful content, privacy, and data portability. I've called for new regulation in these areas, and over the next decade, I hope we get clear rules for the internet. Zuckerberg knows he needs to regain the trust of the public and Facebook's multi-app user base if the company is to remain the world's most powerful and pervasive communications platform. Now look, I get that a lot of people aren't sure we're serious about this, Zuckerberg said at F8. We don't exactly have the strongest reputation on privacy right now. Put it lightly, but I'm committed to doing this well and starting a new chapter for our product. He ended his opening remarks with the reassurance that Facebook has a clear idea of where it wants to go and the kinds of product it wants to build for people. This isn't just about building new products. It's a major shift in how we run this company, Zuckerberg said. We believe that for the future, people want a privacy-focused social platform. I believe that if we build out a fully encrypted, interoperable service, that's going to be an important contribution to the world. Zuckerberg has a lot on his plate, and whatever the future he and Facebook has for our modern society, we know it'll be talked about for ages to come. So what are your thoughts on Facebook and where social media is taking us? Make sure to let us know down in the comments. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to hit that like and subscription icon to see more from our channel. Until next time, take care. To change your